getting really into that.
I was. I listened to it way too long.
Yeah. Listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like a solid minute of bullshit.
Dude, but second 48 is lit. It is fucking lit. You guys are welcome.
Thank you.
We're coming back. I honestly, for me, like, I love movies so much that should be our roots, but I do think that a big genesis of this whole situation with this podcast is that I'm an old guy watching anime and manga.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the inspiration. Honestly, that's hard to tell. Did Berserk just the leather-bound
Those are
bloody
newer.
covers?
Yeah, they're newer.
So I bought the first 3 volumes of that on a live sale. I didn't even know it was manga.
Yeah, Berserk's rad.
Yeah, it's so good. I didn't know it was manga. I just thought those covers, like, they're leather bound, and then they have
the imprint, the brand of sacrifice.
and then it's like in red, and so kind of bloody like, and it's awesome. So I bought them before I knew what it was, and then I read them much, much later.
I remember you told me, you're like, oh, I bought Berserk, and I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah, but I still.
Well, yeah, you're like, what does that mean?
I didn't know what it was.
I was like, oh, it's manga, it's anime.
But I'm going to say we're coming back to our roots. It's been a minute. I mean, we did One Piece Volume 64 last of the manga. I'm reading it way too slowly.
I just read the newest chapter today.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, everybody tells me I need to
last night, but
get to Wano. And
dude, Wano's awesome.
Right. And so, like, that is the goal. I do know, though, like, I know I have the capacity to read 30 volumes in, like, 3 days.
Yeah, you've done it.
Yes. So I might just turn up. On it just because.
Sponsors.
Oh, the sponsor's right. Yeah. No, you don't have to whisper it. I fucking neglected it.
Yeah, well.
Just say, hey, dumbass. Before we get too far down the road on this episode, let's go ahead and we'll thank our sponsors, Unscripted Studios, Pixel Popcorn Media Group, and James Thomas Productions. Thank you for your undying support in this endeavor.
You make dreams come true.
Yes. Yes. All the luster is there.
The allure.
And the luster.
Okay.
Isn't luster like gold and shiny?
Dude, I don't fucking remember. I don't have a dictionary in front of me.
Fucking spirit fingers.
But anyways, we both
So-
just watched the entirety of the One Piece live action.
All right. I was trying to wait for this guy. Well, I didn't.
No,
I
no, not at all. So, all right, let's paint this picture. So, 2 days ago,
Yeah, Thursday.
so Wednesday. Today's Friday.
Oh, yeah.
So Wednesday, I had set up just like an appointment for your air conditioner to get looked at.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, cool. They're like, they'll be here between 8 and 10 on Thursday. I was okay, cool. Thursday,
right,
I knew. I was like, all right, One Piece came out. Like, we're going to watch it today.
Yeah.
I walk in. You're 55 out of 58 minutes into the first episode. And I was like, oh, thanks for waiting. And you're like, it's not my fault you got here late. I'm like, it's 9 o'clock. That's when we start. And you're like, it's not my fault. I thought you were going to get here early. I was like, what?
I might have gotten impatient. Like,
Yeah.
well, because you turn on Netflix, and so
It's
I was
right there.
Yeah, I was gonna put on the same irreverent dialogue show that I watched. Like, it depends, it changes. When Beef, I became obsessed with Beef when that came out, and so I would just put it on in the background because it's like I don't have to pay attention, but the dialogue is still good, you know. And so like you're hearing it, and you're like, ooh, that's good. And that morning, One Piece kept popping up into my face, and
To be fair, a lot of One Piece did just go on Netflix. Like a lot of the movies, the show,
the
specials.
They definitely flooded the market with some One Piece on Netflix.
You currently look like you're on like a radio talk show with how high it is. You're just like,
Yeah, we're gonna do a telethon,
oh, Jesus.
like that movie. What was that movie with Andy Samberg?
Which one?
I actually watched it recently, and it wasn't that bad. Hot Rod.
Hot Rod's terrible. I will die on this hill.
Okay.
Everyone thinks it's the funniest fucking movie. It has moments.
It's not.
No, thank you. It's not the funniest.
No.
Like, again, it has moments. I'll give it that.
It's not funny.
It's fucking stupid.
You get the pleasure of looking at Isla Fisher, right? Is that Isla, whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, whatever. And then
Well, yeah, no, like that movie's so fucking stupid.
you get
Bill Hader.
Will Arnett in full douche.
Yeah. You get
You get Bill Hader.
Danny McBride's pretty decent in that movie.
So like, it's not funny.
No, but it's all SNL stuff, and I don't care for SNL. I never have.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, well, they were all like on it together in that era.
Okay. I don't want to get distracted. Fuck Hot Rod. I just watched that movie the other day and happened to like whatever. So, yeah, I wake up Thursday morning. I'm a glutton for watching things over and over and over again, which you have isolated. You don't necessarily do that right away. So
No, I'll give it some time before I do.
Since the last
You're already
voyage,
4 episodes into the season again. You just finished it last night.
well, yeah, I'm halfway through again.
Yeah.
That's just my style. I really, really, really love to like watch it and be captivated by it, and then go back and see what nuances.
Well, sure, things you didn't pick up on.
Little bread. What are those called?
Easter eggs.
Yeah, there you go. Easter eggs.
The fuck were you gonna say?
Breadcrumbs and Easter eggs
okay.
together.
It became
so
egg
like,
bread.
Yeah, egg bread, or
It's the whitest
egg noodles
thing ever.
or bread noodles, or
Sure. Anyways.
yeah. So I do that, and so I did start it right over. But anyway, you showed up. I was almost done with episode 1, and I said, "That's cool. Let's just start it over."
Yep.
And we did.
Dude, within the first like minute, I got some chills. It was fun. I had a smile. I was like, "Oh, this is okay."
Yeah.
And it was like, if this is the pacing it's gonna be, like, I'm excited for this. And in my opinion, it's solid. Like for a live action to anime adaptation, like they usually suck. Certain things, like you can see, they tried. There was effort, and the heart was there. It just fell flat because they changed a lot of things or something happened. Nah, this one, solid.
Say, I don't have context as far as other live action adaptations are concerned. This is my first anime to live adaptation, and
Technically manga, because you didn't even really watch the anime.
I have not yet watched the anime. I've
good.
been stubborn about it just because I know I can watch it much faster.
No, you will read it much faster. I promise you.
But see, when I read, I have to read.
Right.
When I watch, I have to just sit there.
True, but
so,
with all the
like,
pacing, because I mean, as much as I do like One Piece, the pacing is not the best for the anime. So that's where you're going to get, a lot of flashbacks or 10 minutes of bullshit that you're like,
yeah.
All right. Whereas you could read it and be like, I finished it in 10 minutes.
Right. We don't do that. Yeah, I get that. Either way, like you said, opening scenes, you're at Gold Roger's execution.
Log Town.
And
or Log Town, if you prefer.
In that moment, a lot of things are about to happen. And you get introduced to Garp in this moment too, which is great.
Yeah, well, because if I'm not mistaken, he was not, and like, I think later in the series they say like, oh yeah, he was there, but like at the beginning of the actual series, he's not, because I don't think you learn that he is Luffy's grandpa for a while. I don't think you learn that until, spoiler, I don't think you learn that until Water 7.
Yeah, it's a while down the road. But I also don't think you realize how crucial Garp, or how powerful and important he is as a character till way later,
right?
Because he's just kind of a presence, which is a lot of how Oda had written this in anyway. Like, you meet Mihawk once,
right?
And he just fucks Zoro up.
Absolutely. Well, he also fucks up Don Krieg's boat.
He chops it in half.
Yeah.
Which happens in the series. And it's amazing.
With Yoru, and you just...
Yeah.
They changed a couple things here and there, but like it was nothing that we were both like, oh man, like would have been cooler if this were the case. It was just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, you kind of, you almost understand, for the purpose of a live action.
And for storytelling.
And advancing the pace and cutting out a lot of the filler that maybe you needed otherwise in the live action. It makes more sense to just get to the point.
Right.
And we actually talked about it this morning too, because it's like you could have, I mean, I'm sure One Piece has 50 artists
Oh,
drawing
easily.
panels all day.
Right.
That's just what they do. They just draw panels. So like, it's easier to ask a guy to redraw the same panel 50 times a day. You can't go refilm every scene
Right.
50 times a day. And so I feel like that was part of the directing and cinematography that I agreed with a lot.
Yeah. Well, and then we both agreed too. I mean, so I don't know like how valid it is, but the fact that like Oda had a hand in picking all the cast, everyone was cast so well.
Yeah.
There wasn't like a person that we were like I don't really see them as this character. Like everyone, it fit really well. I think the only one that we felt that way about was, how did you phrase it? Johnny Gosling?
Is that Kuro?
No, Johnny Gosling is Shanks because it
Shanks.
looks like a weird mix between Ryan Gosling and Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Or
kept
Ryan
getting,
Depp if you prefer.
whichever who you want to give the he looks more like Ryan Gosling. He acts more like
Johnny
a
Depp.
less crazy
Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, and so like, but he very much to me nails the pirate vibe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, like the vibe was there for everything. Again, I think it's just the costume design, the set design, all of it. It was so fun and it was great.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like even the CGI, like it wasn't anything like, wow, this is revolutionary, but like it didn't look bad. All things considered for a Netflix show, for an anime.
Yeah, I don't pick a lot of that stuff apart unless it is like seriously
I'll keep my comments to myself of which movie comes to mind when I think
bad. Well,
bad
you're
CGI.
like thinking of Avatar.
No, actually.
Oh, okay.
No, I was going to say Black Panther 1. That end fight looks like shit.
All the portal hops to me, I was like, you lost me.
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
but yeah.
but no, like it was solid.
Yeah, the CGI, I think they managed it well.
Yeah.
I think they did a really. I was concerned mostly about how they would execute Luffy's power.
Just the stretching.
Yeah, the gum and the all
dude.
that stuff. And
I was waiting for it the whole season, but when he finally hits with the Gum Gatling, I was like,
yeah,
solid. This is so cool.
And,
Like,
and it is the only place that it should have been in the first season.
Yeah.
Because and look, guys.
so, and same with the battle axe, because he hasn't used that one a whole lot.
Yes.
When he did, like, it was so cool.
Yeah, like and it's not to me. It's not a spoiler.
No, it happens in the anime.
Yes.
Like-
So it's like it's not like you didn't know it was going to happen, but when you see him in the live action just gatling all over Arlong, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
this is fucking amazing.
Oh, it was so cool. And like that's
It was
another
amazing.
I was thinking about this last night when I was watching it. I really liked the special effects, like the prosthetics and the makeup for all the fishmen. I thought they looked really good. And one of the
Yes.
things that I find is always such a problem with like essentially like a mask or heavy makeup like that, you lose all of like I guess the expressiveness of like the top lip, or like when it comes to teeth, you kind of get that like that slight lisp to it.
So
Arlong, didn't seem like he had that to me.
what's the other guy's name though?
Which one?
Because-
Fish lips.
Yes. Because that is absolutely the best example of what you're talking about.
His-
the guy that was chasing Usopp.
It
down
was
through the
expressive.
forest, and then when he's swallowing his alcohol to shoot like little fire nuggets at
Yeah,
him.
or like the basically like the missiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy, his makeup and effects are so over the top.
Like when he talks a little, I think it doesn't move a whole lot. It almost kind of feels like old school Ninja Turtles. But it's even still, I was like, look how big that fucking lip is. That's like 10 pounds right there.
Yeah, it would take a lot of effort to move that lip.
Yeah. But no.
But I thought they did great with that character.
Yeah. And then, because again, all the fishmen to me are kind of, I don't remember their names, especially for the Arlong crew.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the guy that busts out the fisherman karate, like just the dorsal fins that he has on his side, those looked really good too.
Yeah, and then that's the guy with the doofy, like,
The little antenna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that guy.
I was kind of surprised that Hachi wasn't there. The octopus.
No, I know who
Okay.
he is, and he ends up playing a bigger role in Fishman
Later.
Island.
Yeah.
It's interesting. So this, like you say that, and I feel like they did a lot of things where they have omitted certain parts.
Or added other things in, like a lot of
Yeah.
the stuff with Garp, Kobe, and Helmeppo.
And so I almost, if I had to guess what they were going to do, Hachi's he had already
left.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, I
Like
can't.
Nami will still know him.
Right.
But
She was terrorized by him still, but I feel like he left and it's like, it can't be part of this anymore.
Right.
Because he did have a conscience. You find out he has a conscience later.
Yeah.
And so, like,
I mean, they referenced Jinbei,
yep.
which was cool.
Yep. Mihawk is awesome.
I was gonna say, at first I wasn't sure how to feel about him, but I also don't remember how he sounds in the anime. I feel like he kind of has more of like that posh kind of accent.
So I haven't seen it. So his voice just exists in my head.
Right.
I also haven't seen him on screen. So his eyes at first, they threw me off because
Those, did they, it's gonna be like, did they throw you Mihawk?
yeah, it was Mihoft.
No, I actually didn't hate them. I mean, as I say, the problem with doing any contact like that, regardless, is it's going to look unnatural. But I kind of like that because he has unnatural eyes.
Yeah, like it didn't bother me from that. Like, oh, that's clearly a contact.
No.
Just like the
color
the
or-
villain in Last Action Hero, wasn't that the guy that wore all the
Charles
crazy
Dance?
different contacts?
Yeah, and it was usually like the bullseye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that didn't bother me. I knew what it was. But
Sure.
it was fucking cool. And so, like, I think it was just a little shocking to me because in the manga, he's
Just
kind of
black and white.
drawn that way with that expressive
He's got
circle.
them. Yeah.
But I didn't picture it as like snake eyes or whatever, yellow eyes.
Hawk eyes.
Yeah, Hawkeye. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
There's theories about it, but
that was my initial reaction to him. But he's awesome.
Mihawk's a badass.
All the characters, like you mentioned, they're awesome. And I had a friend I played this video game with, and he told me that when he originally saw the character Zoro, his heart cracked. Like, that's how he phrased it to me. He's Italian, so I assume he just meant his heart was broken. Like, it didn't live up to what he thought it would be.
I thought it was pretty badass.
Yeah. So, like, because he...
I'd like to say I'm a pretty decent Zoro fan.
Yeah, and he meets, you're introduced to Zoro how I think you should be.
As a badass bounty hunter.
He's alone. He's in his own zone. He's doing his thing. He's lighting fucking candles. And
And walks Mr. Seven.
from the Baroque works to try to recruit him. Dude, he's such a prick. And like, I feel like that it does translate when you're reading it, but it doesn't translate, I think, as well as the live action made me feel his personality. Because in the manga, he's way more like aloof.
Right.
And he's still stoic and he's still standoffish and
Sure.
he's still like,
But
there's
also,
an element
too,
of mystery about him, but like,
when you first meet him in the manga, he's already on the cross tied up.
yeah,
Like-
yeah. And you don't meet him in that context in this live action.
Right.
You meet him doing a ceremonial thing that
Murdering
somebody
someone.
decides to interrupt.
Right. Then murdering that person.
Yeah.
And then the
so-
bar scene.
So, like, my favorite part is he's sarcastic, and he like, he's like, if you guys were serious about recruiting me, you should have sent somebody better than number 7.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, that's fair though. Well, because it's been so long. Does he fight Mr. 2 in Alabasta? Is that the guy with
The giant sword.
No. He's the guy that like becomes Blades when he learns how to like cut steel, but also not cut a leaf.
So is Mr. 1 the guy with the giant sword?
Isn't Mr. 1 Crocodile?
Is he?
I'm gonna Google this right now. 'Cause
Yeah, you could be right, but I know exactly the guy that you're talking about that turns
Right.
into Blades. Anyway,
Oh no, Crocodile's Mr. 0. Dad's Bones is Mr. 1. It's the guy that turns into the Blades.
okay, number 1,
That
Mr.
dude.
1. Yeah. Okay. So, but in the manga, we don't exactly see death
Right.
until Ace.
Yeah.
It's inferred
Sure.
that people die,
Which
and you
Oh
accept...
no! You see the death at the beginning with Shanks'
That's
crew.
true. With Lucky Roo.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Not
right.
getting called out on that one.
No, yeah, you reminded me of that. So, but like, they don't go back there for a long time,
Right. Because again, it's a kid's story.
and so this first encounter with Zoro,
Cuts the dude in half.
yeah,
And then he puts him in a bag.
He legit chops him the fucking half and puts him in a burlap sack and carries him into town. He's like,
Yep.
A, I'm not joining fucking Baroque Works. B, get in this burlap sack, motherfucker,
Yeah.
and come with me. And so, like, that's one of my favorite scenes when he first gets to the bar.
Yeah.
And he orders a drink, and
He
he's
goes,
like,
one for my friend here.
he's had a rough day.
Yeah.
He's
Chopped
in half, motherfucker.
There's one scene I think it's in the last episode after like they defeat Arlong and Nami's running over and Sanji just goes, Nami, with his arms open, and she runs past him and hugs Usopp and Zoro.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it. I was like, I know that they want to keep it kind of grounded in reality, but I was like, it'd actually be really funny if they animated his eyes like the big heart. I was like, that would actually be kind of cool. Like, I respect why they won't,
but it wouldn't be totally out of.
Well, exactly, because it's still a goofy
because,
show.
I mean, you still have
A rubber
Luffy stretching and doing all his stuff. You still have this guy.
I was gonna say we'll get to it. It was so good.
This guy. So in the manga, reading it, I hated Buggy.
Well, I mean,
I hated him, but.
But once it gets to Impel Down, Buggy's great.
Well, yeah. Once you start to like,
but like in the show,
more,
dude, Buggy was fucking funny.
And so in this live action, he arrives at the end of episode 2. Or no, at the end of episode 1.
Yeah, he gasses them out.
Yeah, and you're like, and he's so good.
He was really good. Well, I like too, like that the longer the
so
show goes on
good.
and the more he appears, his face makeup just gets worse.
Yeah.
Like-
he doesn't fix it.
No.
He just
just adds
like,
more.
I've been through some shit, and here's some shit.
But
he's Buggy.
he's so fucking funny. Well, and then like at the end when they get Buggy back to his body and he's like, hey, so I'm just gonna leave. And he flips him off and walks away, and just the Zoro's comment of just fucking clowns. It's like
It's true.
it was good.
But then, like, Zoro can't say shit because that's how he, like, went to try to leave Mr. 7.
Well,
He's like,
yeah.
1's my favorite number.
Right.
It's like-
No, I just think it's funny, though. Well, and then, dude, like Helmeppo being a dingus like he is.
See, the casting is...
It was so
like,
good.
top to bottom, I feel like the casting on this show is... like, how do you... In fact, none of the actors are, like... They've all been in stuff.
But they're not like giant name actors like...
None of them
It's not
have
like a
been-
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
or Chris Evans. It's none of that.
No blockbuster people. Not even, like...
It's not that I can think of. I mean, maybe like is like one of the side characters. There might have been.
No, I looked through everything.
Okay.
I couldn't find one like actor or actress in this series that had like really been in a landmark piece. You know what I
True.
mean? Even if it was something like super bad for Jonah Hill
Right.
or whatever, like
Dude,
nothing like that.
I still can't get over how good the casting was. Because like we were saying earlier, Genzo, the sheriff in Cocoa
Yeah.
Village, looks just like the guy. Like
Yeah.
the makeup was great. But like it's one of those things too where like, because certain things it's like, oh, like they can't grow a mustache or they just don't. So here's a fake one. It looked, his was real for sure. But like even Mihawk's, it's goofy, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
still works.
But in the, I mean, he's drawn that way.
Well, yeah.
with shitty, weird facial hair.
Well, yeah. Like
so you just go, okay, I'm with
you just
it.
accept it. Yeah.
But Genzo,
Yes.
so the for me the
Scarface.
thing that came across most was like, that's exactly how I pictured his personality when I read it.
Yeah.
And I think that is like, how the fuck can you capture that?
Right.
You know,
Well,
like that's amazing.
And because
to
we
me.
had said too, like honestly, the only gripes that we have are so like insignificant and minuscule. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like Zoro doesn't wear a Henley, he wears more of a traditional Japanese shirt, or his haramaki changes, or he doesn't wear it. Like, fine, whatever. Or like Luffy not wearing sandals, he just wears shoes.
Yeah.
It's just like there's such small things that don't affect anything that it's like that's all you really have to complain about. The show did a really good job.
I was to say, if you've gotten all the way to the point of nitpicking shoes,
Well, again,
and
the only complaints I
finite
had were
details, which is interesting too because those small anomalies are more on brand with One Piece
Well, yeah.
than not, and because readers will constantly point out to him in the SBS. It's like, oh, you did this in this volume, but you didn't do it in this volume.
Right.
And he has some explanation for it.
Right, and there's usually a reason.
But one of the things that you had pointed out initially is in the fight with Captain Morgan.
Oh yeah,
Zorro's
his
earrings
break.
2 out of 3 of them, right?
Yeah,
And,
which I think that was just an accident.
Yeah, I agree that is probably some kind of an accident during filming. But then when you go to edit it or you go to reshoot, you're like,
Is it really worth it? Like,
I can see that happening. Like I
Right.
could legit see that happening during a battle. Like if you're
Sure.
in a heated battle, there's no guarantee your little earrings are going to stay on.
no.
You know, if you get clipped by anything, they're coming off.
But again, it wasn't anything like, wow, like that really takes me out of this. I was just like, okay.
yeah. There and Luffy's perfect.
Oh, dude, they were all so good.
They all are, but like Luffy to me, like he has just he understand. I don't know if he. I'm
Just
assuming
embodies
he
it.
read
I think they all have to an extent.
all of it, but god damn.
No, it was great. Well, and like,
Just his dopey ass smile half the time, like when he's listening to people talking, he's like, "I'm about to get you to do exactly what I want, but
Yeah.
I'm going to let you finish." So it's,
well, and then like I liked the dynamic that the actors that Zoro and Sanji had. Like I thought they did that really well. Like when they're like, oh, it's like, he's a fighter, and it's like he's a waiter.
yeah,
It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I think it was another one like nitpick thing. I was like, I'm surprised they didn't have Sanji smoking as much, but that could also just be for ratings. I don't know at what point you have to go, well, we've gotten away with these things, so we can't do this. Like, what is it? You get 2 fucks in a movie or 1?
I think you get
For PG-13?
1 to
Yeah.
stay PG-13.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
say they get 1 at the end of it.
But I don't think these count.
No, I don't believe they do.
So like,
Because that's ambiguous.
Yeah, they got away with that part. But yeah, I mean, I know originally people had mentioned that Sanji and his classic curled eyebrow,
Right. Or Usopp's nose.
or
which
Usopp's nose.
I like that when he busts out his Jolly Roger, it's got a normal sized nose. And I was like, that's actually kind of funny.
Yeah,
Like, I still think it'd be hilarious if they just basically made fun of him. Like, dude, your nose is long as shit.
I mean, it would be interesting if they messed with him that way, or if something happens somewhere,
Right.
and gives him the Pinocchio effect when he starts telling his tall tales.
That would
'Cause-
actually be funny too.
because they are there, like
yeah.
they are still prevalent in this series, and it's great.
It's
because,
funny.
like
Because, like, thinking about it, it was never one of my favorite, like, sets of episodes in the first place, but, like, the episodes with Kuro. Mm-hmm. This, similar, just because I was like, I don't really care about this character.
yeah,
But it like because it got to the point, I was like, all right, it's fine. Like it was enjoyable still. It wasn't like, oh god, like it feels like it's dragging. Stuff still happened and things advanced quickly.
so I think because I told you already, I hated Kuro
But it was
in the manga.
agreed. But the actor, the way he just does the whole cat, like
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So
perfect.
I hated him in the series too,
Right.
but for all the right reasons.
Correct. Well, because
like
he's a terrible human. Like his character's just a
yeah.
bad person.
such another brilliant casting in my mind, because like he pulled that character off very well.
Yes. I don't remember though. Did Kuro always have like the curled? I'm assuming he did, but did he have like the curled collars? Because I always remembered him like just having like just like a black suit.
No, I think that he did have that.
Like
I'd have to go back and look, but I think that was part of his.
Right now.
I think that was part of his whole
Shtick.
espionage.
Oh no, he totally did.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd be surprised if he didn't, and they did that. Okay. The reason why I misremember is because they kind of swirl horizontally.
Yeah.
So, But I mean, for like a live action thing, that makes sense. It works.
yeah,
Like,
they did a really good job paying attention to details, and
yeah, dude,
I like
his little cat gloves.
yeah. I really think they delivered it all.
Oh, I almost forgot. One of my favorite parts, and I don't know if it's one of your favorites, but anytime a new pirate got introduced and the wanted poster came in, that was one of the coolest
Yeah.
fucking things I have seen in a long time for a show. Like, it was so fun. And it, like, again, watching it, I was like, this feels like One Piece. And they do it right at the beginning with Gold Roger. It just flies in. And I was like,
They do.
Because I was like, okay, they'll do it for him. But they did it for everybody. And it was so fucking cool. They were all different. Arlong, you just used his nose to slash it. Kuro slashed it with his hands. Like, oh, so fucking cool.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that reminds you you're watching an anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like
Which
it was
great.
It was done in such a cool way. Like, what was it? Like Mihawk's bounty canceled because he's a warlord.
Right.
And I was like, oh, it was just so fucking cool.
Yeah,
Like,
the show hits. It hits.
And then right at the beginning when Luffy's walking around Shellstown, all the wanted posters, like you got Buggy, Alvida, and then fucking Foxy is there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
I love Foxy. So stupid.
Like, well, that's the thing. It ended, and I was only pissed because there's
I want more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, I want more. It was so fun. Like again, we've talked about it, but just like for a live action adaptation of anything, this one was done so well. And again, the fact that it can immediately capture you and be like, oh, this is just fun.
Yeah.
Like you're not expecting, oh, well, I want to see this thing that you could never pull off, even with CGI. Like you know what you're gonna get, and you get it. It delivers. I think the last we checked, it was sitting at like an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I mean, take it with a grain of salt. But for a live action adaptation of a very well known and loved anime, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, I'd say that's really solid.
Like you said too, like after the first day when everyone bitches the most. Like,
Yeah, because obviously leading up to it, there's all kinds of speculative hate, and people are like, I hate this and I hate that and I hate.
I'll be the first to admit, I was one of them. I was like I don't know how good it's gonna be. I'll watch it because I like One Piece, but I was like, I'm only expecting okay.
So I did not allow myself to watch
any trailers.
Nope. I would watch. There was the one trailer that they had, which
teaser.
kind of did the dawn on the Going Merry,
Right.
and I was like, okay, cool. That was enough for me,
Right.
And then we heard about stuff, and you would tell me about stuff, and I remember that Arlong was like one of the characters that everybody seemed to hate the rendition of the most.
Like I said, I actually really liked the way he looked. It looked super cool.
Yeah.
I think it worked well.
I think he came out great.
They made Buggy hot as fuck, like they should.
But yeah, the Arlong character, like to me, if they had been properly true to form with the anime and the manga,
He would look too ridiculous.
and made his nose that long, it just all it does is creates a dynamic where now you can't do certain shots because of the nose is taking up the whole frame.
Well, and also too, I mean, his nose is drawn at a different length every time for the frame.
Yes.
Like, yes, we all know like the length of it, but it's like it's one of those things too where it's like, okay, you're going this exaggerated with it. So then at that point, if you do something less exaggerated, people are going to go, well, you did it with this. Why not this? Like you're never going to please everybody.
Right.
But also too, because what is he, a sawtooth shark?
Yes.
Or saw nose, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
That's what they look like.
Yeah.
We saw them in person.
Right.
Like
it was, some of them had noses that long. Some of them had noses
Smaller ones.
longer.
Sure. But like, I think it worked really well. And again, the makeup on it was great. The teeth were fucking cool. Like when he gets them punched out and he grows them back. That's fucking awesome.
Dope. That was dope.
Like I said, though, like the fact that, at least in my opinion, I didn't think Arlong had any of like that weird facial or speech impediments that you usually get with a lot of prosthetic or fake teeth. I thought they did it really well.
So did I.
Like whether they just did ADR and had him re-record the lines, it's one thing, but
whatever they did, to me he was solid.
Yeah, no, I was 5 out of 5 red noses.
Yeah, if that's a thing. Oh, which they do.
They do, yep.
Obviously, bring up that joke when with your first interaction with Luffy and Buggy. Does he call him Boogie?
He calls him Boogie. He calls him, what's the other one? It's like Bergie or something. Like he just...
Yeah, not even close.
No, but like...
Not even close.
It's just funny because it's like, that's Luffy.
Yeah, you're like, that's Luffy.
Or like when they're leaving that town or the village, island, and they're like, here, we're going to take our food. And he's like, no, you guys need it more. And he walks away or like he even looks and he goes...
Maybe a snack.
You need it more. And he leaves and he comes back. He's like, yeah, just a snack. Like,
because you like,
or like when they're in Kaya's mansion and he's grabbing all the food and just putting it in his literal pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Or when he swallows the entire fucking pot of poison soup.
I really like how they did that too. Like,
That's something that he would fucking do.
I think
'Cause
he does.
He does.
Yeah.
But he like stared at Kaya's soup during the dinner.
He's
and-
like, yeah, he's like, she can have my fish. I'll take that soup. Like,
Yeah.
he wanted the soup.
Yeah, and so then like he gets to the kitchen where there's a whole pot of the poison
And
shit,
he's
and he
like, "Ooh,
literally
soup."
just gulps it all up.
Right.
You're like, God damn it, Luffy.
Well, then I think at one point, I think that's around one point. At least they might not have intentionally done it. The way the angle was, it looked like it. It looked like they gave him the belly.
yeah, I think they did.
But it was great.
Either way,
But yeah, definitely, I would say go watch it. It was
yeah,
very enjoyable. I mean,
I'm 100% go watch this.
oh yeah, like, just yeah. Like I said, 5 out of 5 red noses.
Yeah, it's too fun not to watch.
Exactly. Like
know,
it's 8
even-
episodes. It's 8 hours. If you like it, great. If not, you didn't waste that much time. But it's worth a watch for sure. If you like One Piece in any capacity, or you want something new and interesting and fun,
Or even if you like something a little bit silly,
Yeah.
like with a good story,
yeah,
and you've never seen One Piece and you can't do animation, I feel like this is a really good like
Entry
lead
point,
in.
yeah.
to like go okay.
because then you might give the animation a shot, or you might read it. Like we were both saying, to like this feels like a great way to introduce somebody to anime who normally wouldn't, or who's
Chris.
never seen it. Yeah,
Oh, sorry, Chris. I called you out, Chris.
yeah.
What's his salacious D? What is it? Chris. You
But,
got called
yeah, no.
out, bro. Go watch this thing, bro. I will punch you in the dick if you don't.
Damn.
Yeah, dick punches.
All right. Well, end
Is
it
that
there.
an end point?
Seems like it.
All right. Yeah. Peace.
Later.